People across the heart of Carolina who lost loved ones to Hurricane Floyd will never fully recover. But there is a way we can all learn from their tragedy. Throughout the next 90 minutes in a News Channel 11 Extra, reporter Bill Wilson will show you how to better your chances of getting out alive if you should ever find yourself in a similar situation. He begins with a look at how easily that could happen.
Another hurricane season is right around the corner. Last fall, dozens of people died in North Carolina because of Hurricane Floyd's floodwaters. Some of those people in their very own cars. A car underwater is frightening, even for the experts. During the height of Floyd, people foolishly tried to beat the odds. Gardner's Rescue Extrication Delivery Specialist, or REDS for short, is one such group.
We saw a lot of cars that were totally submerged, a lot of cars in the water that were just, these people were totally caught off guard.
The Gardner REDS saved 50 flood victims in just one night. Most people have no idea how to get out of a sinking car.
I don't know. That's a real problem. Somebody should do a story on that and tell us how to do that.
That's exactly what we're going to do. Later, this 2,500-pound car will be sunk into a Wake County lake with a person inside. We're going to show how to escape a flooded car, giving you life-saving tips if another Hurricane Floyd hits North Carolina. One big myth: you could always just break out the window and swim to safety.
I would try to kick my glass out. I would try to kick the glass out.
Experts say given the pressure from the water outside, that's almost impossible. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll get ready to sink this car and show you how you can save your life by keeping your head above water. In Harris Lake, Bill Wilson, News Channel 11 ABC.
Coming up at 5:45, folks, we'll also hear from the experts on how long it takes for a car to actually sink. You may be surprised. And then at 6:15 this evening, we sink the car, and we'll show you how to escape.
This 2,500-pound car is going to be dropped into Harris Lake with a man trapped inside. I'm Bill Wilson. Coming up next, we'll show you how we do it safely.
If you were trapped underwater in your car, would you be able to get out alive?
Up next in a News Channel 11 Extra, experts prepare a car for sinking to give you an underwater demonstration, but the trouble often develops even before a car makes it into the water.
What would you do if you and your children were caught in your car while water was flooding inside? Some advice tonight in our News Channel 11 Extra. A car can sink in a matter of seconds, and if you're caught inside, you really need to know what to do and act quickly.
Today, News Channel 11's Bill Wilson will sink a car on television to show you how to get out. In part 2, he shows you how we've prepared for this story.
With another hurricane season approaching, it's important to remember that more people die from inland flooding. This car is going to be dropped into Harris Lake in a very controlled environment. First, News Channel 11 brings in a 114-foot crane to southwest Wake County, and it's carefully placed into position so the car can be quickly hoisted out of CP&L's lake if there's a problem. Members of Gardner's Rescue Extrication Delivery Specialist team, get ready. A safety officer will call the shots, while divers will be around the submerged car just in case.
Never be too safe. At the smallest little detail, it could result in something big, so even if you think it's small, check on it, make sure it's 100%.
But even before the car tires can get wet, there's a glitch. Twice, CP&L's environmental officer says it's a no-go. The junker's engine is too dirty to go into their lake. Already, gas tanks and brake lines have been removed. And finally, after a high-pressure steam clean, this demonstration gets the environmental green light.
Anywhere from 30 seconds up to a couple of minutes.
That's how long it will take to sink with REDS Chief David Peace behind the wheel of our Chrysler New Yorker, a diver with 27 years of experience, but this will be a first for him. And with all the safety precautions, this air tank will sit right behind Peace.
I could have easily got air 5 or 10 minutes. It wouldn't have been a problem to actually exit the vehicle.
We'll mount this light on the camera, so that'll help.
Underwater photographer Rick Allen will capture the car's flooding and subsequent escape for News Channel 11. One camera is mounted in the passenger seat, while Allen will be manning another outside in the lake.
You're going to see exactly what the driver would see. I'd say it's as real as you can get without actually doing it.
Safety is the key. You won't believe what happens when we submerge this car at 6 o'clock. At Harris Lake, Bill Wilson, News Channel 11 ABC.
And in just a few minutes, you'll actually see what happens when that car goes off the pier into the water and see how to get out alive. It's important to stay tuned for.
That's right. Scary, too. Meteorologist Gary McGrady is in the Storm Center.
Our diver is strapped in and the car is ready to go under. Coming up on News Channel 11 at 6:15, we sink this car.
You go to the door and you're pressing on the door and you're realizing the door's not going to move.
See how to get out alive when every second counts. More local news is just ahead with Larry Stogner and Miriam Thomas, plus Steve Daniels and Francis Scott on News Channel 11.
You won't believe where this car is headed, straight into Harris Lake with a man trapped inside. I'm Bill Wilson. That story coming up at 6.
Driving into high water can be a fatal mistake, but you can get out alive if you know what to do. Over the last hour, we've shown you how we've gotten a diver standing by and a car ready to sink. Now, News Channel 11's Bill Wilson takes us underwater in our extra report.
What's the most important thing to remember if your car does start to sink? Try not to panic and stay calm. Last year, more than 50 people died because of floodwaters from Hurricane Floyd, and we're going to show you how not to become the next victim. Harris Lake looks clear, but underwater it's a murky dungeon. Visibility a couple of feet of that. On the surface, David Peace gets behind the wheel and even fastens his seatbelt. Over the next 3 hours, the chief of Gardner's Rescue Extrication Delivery Specialist Team will be submerged a half dozen times into the lake. Here's what it's going to look like step by step. Our Chrysler New Yorker has power windows, so you just can't easily climb out. And the water pressure makes opening the door a no-go for now.
You're not going to be able to open the door until the water gets up to at least almost head high.
It takes our junker some 3 minutes to sink. Plenty of time to get calm and think about what to do.
Again, I still got plenty of air, still got a nice air pocket.
As the water rises, it becomes almost impossible to see much in the car. So P says it's critical to keep just one hand on the door's handle.
Keep continuously trying to push the door. But you can still not able to get it out.
90 seconds later, there's finally enough water in the car, so the pressure's equalized. Pete says use your body weight to push open the door.
Keep your handle on the door, keep the door open, get you a couple good breaths.
A few seconds and you're safely out of your car. Peace has dived for 27 years, but in a sinking car, it's a first.
The first time down was a scary feeling. As you sat in the vehicle and the water started to come up, you go to the door and you're pressing on the door and you're realizing the door's not going to move.
Because of the engine weight, most cars drop front first. One trick, especially if you have kids, climb into the back seat and go out that way.
The back door you could probably could open up because there's not that much pressure against it.
But you have to remember, once that door opens, the car will sink in a matter of seconds.
So this will actually allow you to shatter the window.
This cheap little tool could end up saving your life. Let's say your car's power door locks won't open, or the crash has damaged the door itself. A spring-loaded center punch, something you can carry in your glove box, easily does the trick.
It's more not so much pressure, but the way you hit the glass.
You see, given the water pressure from the outside, kicking the glass or using a hammer may not even work. Experts say the main thing to remember, try to stay calm. Not an easy task with water gushing in.
The key to remember is the car's not going to instantly fill up with water. You're always going to have an air pocket for a short period of time.
The big difference between our controlled demonstration and real life, there's no rushing water in this lake. But if you at least know the basics, your chances of survival is that much greater. At Harris Lake, Bill Wilson, News Channel 11, ABC.